Hello students, I am Rohini Chogle, one of your physics lecturer. Okay, this is my second class. Okay, in first class what I discussed, I just discussed about the syllabus copy and the basic things regarding the classical mechanics. Okay, already I give you the syllabus copy. Okay, already I give the syllabus copy like a point wise, and I discussed the classical mechanics. In that, definition of classical mechanics, examples of the classical mechanics, and limitations of classical mechanics, etc. In the last class I told that is only the basic things, means as the exam purpose it will not necessary. So in this class I want to explain about the real classical mechanics. In that, first one is the constraints. In your syllabus copy, first part is the constraint. Okay, first I would like to discuss about the definition of the constraints. Okay, what do you mean by the constraints? See here, the limitation or geometrical restrictions on the motion of a particle or system of particle is called the constraints. See here students, every system of a particle is there. Okay, in the surrounding every system of particle is there. So the limitations or the geometrical restrictions on the motion of a particle or a system. Okay, don't be get confused, the sentence is just twisted. See here, the limitation or geometrical restrictions on the motion of a particle of a system of particle is called the constraints. This is the definition. Otherwise, simply it is the condition which restrict the motion of a system. Means consider the motion of a system of particle is there, so that is the limitations or restrictions on the motion of the system of particle of the system is known as the constraints. Clear the definition? Now classification of constraints. See here, in your syllabus copy they were mentioned only two types, holonomic and non-holonomic constraints and rheonomic and scleronomic constraints. Apart from this there are many types of constraints. Okay, unilateral, bilateral, etc. But those are not necessary for you people. You just read only holonomic and non-holonomic, rheonomic and the scleronomic constraints. Okay, first one is the holonomic constraints. Okay, what do you mean by the holonomic constraints? See here, it is the constraints which can be expressed in the form of an equations. See here, the constraints, already we know about the meaning of constraints. So holonomic constraints is nothing but the constraints which can be expressed in the form of an equations. Those equations include the connecting coordinates and time t. Let r1, r2, r3 so on up to rn be the position coordinates of a system and t denotes the time. Then if coordinates of all the constraints are expressed as in this equation f of r1, r2, r3 so on up to rn with respect to t, that is equals to 0. So this connecting coordinate and the time can be expressed in this equation. Okay, so when the constraints can be expressed in this equation, those are called the holonomic constraints. Clear? Now the example. First one is the motion of a bob of a simple pendulum. Already we are familiar with the simple pendulum. Okay, so the motion of a bob of a simple pendulum can be expressed in the term of an equation. Okay, so that is the example of holonomic constraints. Second one is the motion of a particle restricted to move along a curved surface. Okay, curved surface, you know about the curved surface. So the particle are restricted to move along a curved surface is also example of the holonomic constraints. So third one is in a rigid body, the distance between any two particles of a system remains constant. Okay, rigid body, all of you familiar with the rigid body. So the distance between any two particles, consider two particles of a rigid body, so that so that the distance between two particles of a system remains constant or fixed during the motion, expressed as modulus of Ri minus Rj whole square equals to Cij square, where Cij is the distance between the particle of I and j at respect to Ri and Rj. Okay, this is about the holonomic constraints. So what do you mean by the holonomic constraints? The constraints which can be expressed in the form of an equation. That equation may be f of r1, r2, r3, so on up to rn with respect to t equal to 0. The examples are the motion of a bob of a simple pendulum, a particle restricted to move along a curved surface. Okay, next third one is, third example is the sliding of a bead on a particular wire of radius a in the xy plane expressed as, see here, the sliding of a bead of a particular wire. In the wire consists of a bob. Okay, so the sliding of a bead on a particular wire of radius a in the xy plane, means xy plane, you know about that, that can be expressed as x square plus y square equal to a square, which can also expressed in the differential form, that is x dx plus y dy equal to 0. This is about holonomic constraints and the examples of holonomic constraints. So take second classification of constraints, that is non-holonomic constraints. Okay, so the definition of non-holonomic constraints is the constraints which cannot be expressed in the form of an equations. See here, holonomic constraints is the constraints which can be expressed in the form of an equations, but non-holonomic is one which cannot be expressed in the form of an equations. See here, the holonomic, that is f of r1, r2, r3, so on of rn with respect to t, that is equal to 0, that is holonomic. But here this is not equal to 0 means that is non-holonomic constraints. Okay, easy, no, this is. So the coordinates in this case are restricted either by the equations or by non-integral differentials. See here, in this equations r1, r2, r3, rn are the coordinates and t is the time. Same like holonomic, but these equations cannot be explained. So that why this is non-holonomic constraints. Clear definitions. Next, examples. Examples of non-holonomic constraints. Motion of molecules in a closed container. Closed container means vessel of radius r of Ri is the positive vector of ith molecule, that is xi square plus yi square plus ji square less than or equal to r square, where r is the radius of closed container. Okay. Here it is less than or equal to r square, means it is sometimes less than or equal to r square, but it is not, it is, so this means this is not equal to 0, means this condition is true. So motion of a molecule in a closed container is a non-holonomic constraints. So second example is a particle placed on the surface of a sphere. Okay, consider on the sphere there is a particle placed on that surface. R square minus a square is greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0 means that is not equal to 0. Here less than or equal to is there, means that is not equal to 0. Means this not equal to 0 means this condition is true for non-holonomic constraints. Getting, the particle placed on the surface of a sphere, r square minus a square greater than or equal to 0, where a is radius of a sphere. Okay, this is about non-holonomic constraints and examples. Third one is the rheonomic constraints. So definition of rheonomic constraint is the, if the constraints are independent of time, means the constraints which are independent of time is known as the rheonomic constraints. They are called rheonomic. That is, the equations of constraints contain the time as an explicit variable. Means it is totally depending on the time and time as an explicit form. Any one definition means if the constraints dependent on time is the rheonomic constraints. Okay. Rheonomic constraints. So examples of the rheonomic constraints is a pendulum with an extensible string of length L0 is described by, here clearly mentioned, I am extensible string means x square plus y square equal to L0 square with respect to t. Okay, next, scleronomic constraints. Okay, what do you mean by the scleronomic constraints? If the constraints are independent of time, means the time depending is the rheonomic and independent of time is the scleronomic constraints. Okay, see here the example is a pendulum with an inextensible string. The rheonomic is an extensible string and scleronomic is an inextensible string of length L, described by the equation x square plus y square equal to L square. Okay, these are about the types of constraints, and constraints further classified as conservative constraints, dissipative, bilateral, unilateral. See here students, I know all of you referred Ganiger book. Okay, so I also used the Ganiger book as a reference, but I am not just copy for that Ganiger book. It is mixed by the JC Upadhyay book and the Ganiger book. So it is my prepared notes. So better you can write it. Otherwise, when the college is started, I will give you the notes. This is my notes, so write it clearly. Okay, so what I discussed, first one is the constraints definition, types of constraints, holonomic, non-holonomic, rheonomic and scleronomic. So next one is the degrees of freedom. Okay, see your syllabus copy mentioned that as degrees of the freedom. So what is the degrees of freedom? The motion of a free particle in space can be described completely in terms of three independent coordinates. Coordinates means what? That is same only, x, y, z in Cartesian coordinates and r, theta, pi and spherical coordinates. The number of independent variable in which the motion of a system is described is called the number of. So the number of independent variables in which the motion of a system is described is called the number of degrees of freedom. This is important for 2 marks. What it means? The number of independent variables in which motion of a system is described. Easy, no? There are many independent variables in which those are explained as the motion of a system. Okay, is known as number of degrees of freedom. Next one, the number of degrees of freedom is independent by the least number of. The number of degrees of freedom is independent by the least number of coordinates. For a instance of free particle has 2 degrees of freedom. Okay, in general a system of n particle in space. Okay, means already we know in general system has n particles in a space and a particle moving in a plane has 2n degrees. Okay, and in space has 3n degrees. Okay, so the number of degrees of freedom is independent by the least number of coordinates. Okay, by the least number of coordinates. For instance, a free particle has 2 degrees of freedom. A free particle has 2 degrees of freedom. In degrees of freedom means what? The number of independent variables in which the motion of a system is derived. So a free particle has 2 degrees of freedom. In general, a system of n particle in space and a particle moving in a plane has 2n degrees and in space has 3n degrees of freedom. Okay, this is about degrees of freedom. Next one, space point and configuration space. Okay, now we discussed about the space point and configuration space. The motion of a single particle can be described by a set of 3 coordinates. Okay, we know that means a motion of a single particle can be described by a set of 3 coordinates. Coordinates means what? X, Y, Z. That is for a single particle. The space required should be 3-dimensional for 2 particles. So the space required should be 6-dimensional as the motion of each particle is described by a set of is described by a set of 3 coordinates. It can be reduced to a single particle by considering system of particles to n particle, and it has 3n dimensional space. Okay, this space, if there is restriction or constraints on the movement of the particle, the required space is naturally reduced. Okay, if the system of a particle involving by k constraints, then the degrees of freedom for such particle to be 3n minus k. Then the space required for 3n minus k dimension called configuration space. In exam, whenever they will ask what do you mean by the configuration space, you write these two paragraph. Means space point and configuration space means the motion of a single particle can be described by a set of 3 coordinates, that is for a single particle. Okay, means single particles can have the 3 set of coordinates. The space required should be 3 dimensional. For 2 particles, the space required should be 6 dimensional. See here, in space 3 dimensional, okay, that is 3 points, but in a 2 particles, that is 6 dimensional. Means one particle consists in space 1. This means what? In space 1 particle, single particle contains 3 dimensional, and 2 particle contains 6 dimensional. As the motion of each particle described by a set of 3 coordinates, it can be reduced to a single particle by considering system of particle to n particle. See here, single particle 3 dimensional, 2 particles 6 dimensional, likewise n particle, and it has 3n, means this 3 dimensional space. This space, if there is a restriction or constraints on the movement of the particles, means in space there are movement of particles is there, so the restrictions or the constraints that is on the movement of a particle, the required space is naturally reduced. If the system of a particle involving by k constraints, then the degrees of freedom for such particles to be 3n minus k. Then the space required for 3n minus k dimensional called the configuration space. Okay, clear? See here students,